Hello, good evening, everybody. Welcome back to another watch list. The evening of August 27th, going into August 28th. Hope you guys are all doing very well. Wanted to start off, I still have those two links down below to my BTheStory interview. Part one was my background and kind of getting to know my story and my come up as a trader. And then part two was me diving into my overextension mean reversion setup. Small caps, I call them first red days, but on the larger caps, I call them mean reversion just because they're usually real companies and whatnot. So yeah, I do a trade review on there. I share my screen on part two, and then part one, which I really had a good time. Alex asked some really good questions, and it's a lot of fun doing it in person. So I just wanted to get that out of the way. I know it's been out for, I don't know, maybe a week or two, but I hope that everybody who hops on this live stream has at least checked it out. And if you haven't, I encourage you to go and take a peek. So, without further ado, we will do a couple trade reviews and watch list dinner tomorrow, and then we will get on out of here. Start off with MSTR. This was that daily setup I was looking for pops to start rolling over, and we got a failed fall through setup this morning that I had shorted. I sized down a little bit here. So we got this little flag break. These higher lows failed right there, but it reclaimed immediately, so I sized down, and then it failed. So I shorted.
AI
It
news
started
alert,
to...
KKR.
Oops. It started to stay heavy, fade, pops versus VWAP, but I set a stop at highs and ended up getting stopped out there on a rather large volume candle. And then as you guys know, I'm usually off desk around 11, and then midday we got this little sell-off here. A little bit choppy, but by close we definitely got the weak close, and it started to break down below this higher low trend. So although it looked like a chase in the moment, if you zoom out on a larger time frame, then there was a trend break and trigger there for me. So opening range breakdown using high day as a stop, typical entry for me. And then right here was a higher low trend fail and still risking towards day's highs. So a bit less risk reward on this trade here, but if it starts to work, we'll still be all right. So lost there off the open, but put it back on. BTAI, if you remember this one from, let me see here. If you remember this one from this run up, I was talking about a couple things, and the main one being the comparison to IXHL. Now, if you can go back and look at those watch lists from back then, but IXHL, nice big run up, was choppy until that data came out. In pre-market, we got a straight up spike into looking left. I don't know if it'll still, there it is. It was right here on this day. The data came out for their phase results, and then we got a straight up spike into looking left levels, and then it fizzled out for a few days. And BTAI had the exact same setup there today. Straight up pop into looking left levels. I was definitely not quick enough to react to something like that. And it was just steady lows, steady lows, steady lows, and no level that I'm comfortable risking off of in pre-market because nothing has traded any meaningful volume other than the $7 level. And shorting pops down here at 5, risking 7. I just didn't think the risk reward was there. But what we did have was this higher low trend, and I shorted that fail that lined up with a high day clear out and then a hard crack lower high. So I was able to short 490s with risk on 520, now only risking 30 cents on 1R, and then letting that trade work. By the time I was at work, I pulled out my computer, I got some of the guys set up, and checked on where this thing was, and it was just steady lows, steady lows, steady lows, and this was the first time it started to rally, and I obviously didn't want it coming all the way back on me when I can't watch it. So I took it all off. This is a swing setup. Like it should continue lower and have another red day the same way IXHL did. The only reason this was holding up was waiting for this data. Now that it's out, there's really no reason. This was a run up into it, and now we've got this big fail. So I think it was probably a swing opportunity, but I did not swing it. And then open, I dabbled in there, super, super small. And when I say super small, like maybe a 1/5 or 1/6 position. Was looking for it to build back over fives. We got that weak open I was looking for, but it stayed heavy all day. Same thing with OPAD. I tried it twice, lost about half an hour on it, but was just not a sizable opportunity. Put on a super small starter right at open. We got a swipe, hard crack, lower highs, and just stopped for a few cents a couple times. Nothing meaningful, but was just in there in case it started to build a trend. And obviously, open is continuing to fade. So no positions there, just a couple little dabbles. Jobby, still really liking this one into tomorrow after that steady grind day. If anybody was dip buying this and got rewarded with this steady grind, steady grind, steady grind, got absolutely ran over today and coming into shooting distance of these low 14s fails. So I like this one for possible ads there tomorrow. Same setup that I'm looking for on MSTR now that it's broken that trend. Navini still not doing a whole lot. Still just super tight. It's gonna pick a direction. It's just a matter of when, not if. But I'm just waiting for it to break out of this wedge. It's either gonna go sub 50 or 70 plus, and I just need to see which way that one's gonna go. TJR steady fades. IXHL didn't touch it. Range bound day, like I suspected. Most of the range was on that day one, so good avoid there. INHD did get going. Ended up being a failed breakout, but you did get that T+1 squeeze. So congrats to anyone who took it. Couple minutes after market open, straight up spike and grind into looking left levels. You got a $2 move there. And then into the afternoon, I think this is a little bit more predictable and a better opportunity right there than just buying a straight up spike off open after it consolidates and picks its trend. But I didn't trade it. That was the plan, was to avoid that one. Didn't do much. BTI went over. RR, this was my only other trade of the day. You can look at the daily. We talked about it briefly yesterday. I didn't really understand the long thesis, but we're running up. I don't know what this level was exactly, but had it there looking left, maybe these couple tops. And we had a straight up spike, so it was going 1, 2, 3 days. Today was day 4, and it was just a straight up spike off the open. I didn't have it on a main watch, so I didn't see it until the hard crack lower highs. So I leaned on it versus 380s as a guide, and it just started holding VWAP, and I always get off desk around 11, so I didn't have much time. I wanted to see it crack VWAP and roll over, but it didn't. It obviously needed a little bit more time. Never reclaimed those 380s, so the idea was there, but you just would have had to be a bit more patient. So yeah, let's see. Jeff's here, Chris is here. Good to see y'all. So as far as watches into tomorrow, whoa, did not mean to. Let's see what some of these other guys are watching. Yeah, not a ton from these guys. Used did have a pullback there today. Yeah, all day fader. Not the easiest one to stay patient on. Ray was one of those China walk-up names that got smoked today, down 50%. But yeah, as far as ideas for tomorrow, Jobby definitely continued main watch. And see, I think like you can stock a name like this for a few days to a week, and when the opportunity comes and it sets up like exactly how you're looking for, um, as long as you execute it with proper size, good risk reward, you don't really need to trade much else. Like you can have one or two trades a week and do just fine. And I think that some of these bigger picture ideas, and I have a hard time, like like you're here, you're working, and you want something to happen. You want to feel like what you're doing is paying off, and it's just so hard to sit and wait and sit and wait. But I've done it in spurts, in patches, and it just pays so much better than, BTAI, for example. Like I think comparing this to that IXHL, I think is one of those opportunities that I could put 3 or 4 hour risk versus highs a day, and it had the same signs. I had been watching it since over here, and the data finally came out today, and they had an ATM last week. So it was like the data's come out, it ran up into the news, you've got an ATM, you've got a technical setup with this trend break, like everything was in line. And this is something that I shouldn't have 1 hour risk. I shouldn't be tinkering around with the OPADs and opens and RR. Like sure they wash back and forth. One of them I win on, one of them I lose on, and they kind of wash. But if I size into something like BTAI and take a buck a share on something that's nice and thick, like it's just those opportunities are better. Same thing with Jobby. If this fails 14s and goes like, maybe not tomorrow, but if it goes to 9 or 10 or something, like that's a monster move on any volume, like any amount of shares you want. And I think those are the ones that you need to be patient for. Same thing with Master. This thing is failing its 200-day moving average that it hasn't done in, gosh, like years. And it's finally consolidating below it. That looks like a short opportunity, and I just need to size into it. Right now, I've got 1 hour risk. But it's like those opportunities. If Navini breaks over 70 cents, that's something I should have size on. Like I've been waiting and waiting and waiting. So I'm gonna like I've said it, but I'm gonna try and start doing that a bit more. So watches for tomorrow: Jobby, Master, main two, and then RR is a multi-day runner now, and looks like it did go red today. Yeah, right there. Oh, right there and right there. After hours and in the morning. So possible first red day here. Maybe up into this 340, 350 area. And if this loses $3, I think it gets hit back down to 270, 260, something like that. But nice big top wick on a ton of volume trapped up there near highs. You can see with the volume profile. So be interested there for first red day, and then Jobby and Master, big picture ideas. What's going on, Golan? Better late than never. Should turn this up. I'm getting dark in here. So, yeah, but that's about it. A few bigger picture ideas. Gonna try and yeah, as usual, gonna try and not do too much, but try and wait for those big opportunities that I've been stalking to set up and try to be really patient for those ones. So. I'd say that is more the plan than just the tickers I rattled off. So, hope you guys have a great rest of your evening. I will wrap it up there, and I will see you guys over in Investors Underground. Peace.